no matter where you are in the world or your role within the industry, the number one thing that most successful artists and salons are doing at the moment is showing personality. But how do you get that right voice and message across? What impact does it have on attracting the type of clientele you have or want? So to help me explore this, please let me introduce you to Christina Cradle, Cosmoprof artistic team member. She founded her salon in 2017. She's been featured on some of the US top beauty magazines. She's taught on many stages, traveled internationally. I'm sure you all know her. She's completed hundreds of private tutoring classes with stylists and salons across the world. Then over here we have Chris Aaron. Born and raised in Chicago, modern salon and Lanza healing artist. He's seen his designs on red carpets at the Oscars. He's styled for PBS TV, music festivals, editorial. He specializes in customized color designs. And we have at the very end over here, Natalie Booth, Director of Marketing and Operations and owner of Business of Balayage. Her career started in marketing as a web graphic designer here in LA, actually, and now she specializes in small business mentoring. She does all the magic behind the Business of Balayage social media.
And CFO.
And CFO.
CFO.
She didn't want me to mention this, but they
CFO.
So thank you all for accepting my invitation. It's really an honor to have you all here today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So perhaps let's start with maybe just a kind of round table of why did you feel compelled by this topic when I approached you? And
It's so necessary. Like, you go. I can't even get words. I can't even get the words. It's so important. Like, these days, showing that you're good at something isn't enough. You have to show that you're also like a decent human, you know, and good to be around and tolerable. And this is something a lot of people don't talk enough about. They think, oh, if I just do good pictures and just do good work. I'm sorry, you can be the best hairdresser in the world, but if you're a crappy person, you're not going to go far.
Personality is key.
It is.
For sure. I think that for me, that I also educate, so I love sharing and meeting people. And like, I love being around a great group of people because that's what inspires me. So like, when I meet someone that I met from social media that's negative, it just like kills the moment that I'm like, I hate them now.
This is real talk, right?
You know who you are. I think that for me, when you approached it, I was just really excited because I see so many people reach out and be like, how do you build on Instagram? And I go look at their pages and they're trying to be this whole thing that they're not. And for me, that's at the root of it. So I was excited.
fair enough. So how much of an impact would you say then Instagram has had on building either your clientele or your brand? Like if you had to paint like a before and after picture of that, what would that look like?
Clientele-wise, crazy, because I never thought that social media would bring me so much clientele, but it brings me a lot of business behind the chair. And then it's also brought me jobs. That's paying jobs that like.
Yeah, you're traveling all over the place now.
I travel every week. Yes, but I love it though. But like that's something that I never thought I was gonna be able to do. I thought I was gonna go back to school and be a beauty school teacher at one point. And I'm like, I like this road tripping. It's a lot more fun, yeah.
That flexibility.
Not flexibility, yes, for sure.
I mean, business of balayage didn't exist before we were on Instagram. Like, quite literally 0 to, we hit 300,000 last week, which is crazy.
Congrats.
But
Woo!
that Instagram built our business. We couldn't be what we are, we couldn't be a business without it.
And what about you, Christina?
For me, like, how many of you have been doing hair since before Instagram? Yep. You remember what it was like to actually build a clientele? It's called guerrilla marketing, right? Where you had to like beg your clients who you didn't really like to send their siblings or their sister-in-laws or roommates.
You mean that referral card?
Yeah,
thing?
that referral card thing, right? And it typically took us 5 years to build a good clientele, to actually be making decent money or be able to actually pay the bills in this industry. Then Instagram came out, right? And then all these little girls and these little boys from hair school are making more money than us within freaking 6 months, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world, right? And so for me, when I realized that Instagram was the tool that it could be, I'm not even kidding, within 1 year, I went from making $20,000 a year, which, by the way, did you know that's industry average? Yeah. That's less than McDonald's. How sad is that? So I went from making $20,000 a year to over 6 figures in a year, and I was still doing hair out of the second bedroom of my house.
That is.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And then from there, suddenly I got on the Cosmoprov artistic team, and then I get to meet all these amazing people. I met Modern Salon, and it all happened within like a year because of Instagram. Instagram was everything. Instagram was everything.
So how much of your success would you attribute to showing your personality?
All of it.
All of it? Mm-hmm. Literally?
All of it. Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yep.
If
Yep,
I didn't have a personality,
100%.
I don't think I would have a job. 'Cause, I mean, if you think about it, like I said, if someone meets you and they don't like you and they don't want to work with you, or you can't connect to someone that's paying you, it doesn't make you anything. Then they're like, we can find another one of you. There's always another person that can do hair. But
True.
it depends on how hard you work and how much personality you put into your job.
Does it impact the type of clientele that you bring
yeah.
in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, big
I
time.
have to have a little diva with all my clientele. They got just a little diva.
See, and I'm like, if you were a diva at all,
Yeah.
I'm like, you just be
I
cool, man.
I
Let's
need
talk
a
about
li- I
Harry
need a little
Potter.
diva.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, I like Harry Potter.
You're spending a good amount of time with people behind the chair. Like you have to be able to relate and for them to appreciate your personality and you appreciate theirs in order for it to work. Otherwise, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Well, and we've heard the law of attraction, right? You get back what you put out. Well, if you put out who you are, what kind of people you think you're going to get back? People like you. If you're putting out stuff that is not you, it's not authentic to you, and then you're wondering why you can't stand any of your clients or any of the jobs you're being offered, let's take a look in the mirror. So you are what you, like you will get back what you put out.
Yeah. We met in Denver, Natalie, and at your workshop you were saying how it's important to actually be the real you online, and obviously when your clients come in, you don't want to have that disconnect. Do you see that happening a lot? Like, obviously you're coming from a marketing point of view. Do you see that happening a lot, and is it a bad thing? How do you kind of manage that or recover from it?
I think for most stylists, especially if you don't have a big filter, that's that it's really important to be transparent about who you are because it's going to come out eventually. Like, do you want it to be after they've sat down and they regret that decision, or do you want it to be when they're deciding to come to you and give you money? Like, they're coming to give you money. Let them know what they're coming for. And I mean, I think the beauty of being transparent, like, Christine, I know she has amazing taste in music. It makes me love her more. Like, I follow all of her stuff. I'm attached to her little child. Like, I know that's really weird because I don't really know you in real
He's
life.
way
That's
cooler than
terrible.
me. He's
It's
way
adorable.
cooler than me.
But those attachments are things that that clients, like, we're all human. They're all looking for connections. You just also happen to have a function as a stylist. So remembering that and trying to keep that consistent is so, so important. And I see it. I'm seeing it more and more today because of Instagram stories and things like that
Yeah.
allow for more authenticity. But overall, I think it's something that people, when they make the decision to do Instagram or social media for their business, that they kind of mess up because they're too worried about being professional, and that's just not realistic in a lot of cases.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well,
We had like loads of chats over this,
We-
actually,
yeah.
before, yeah.
I just think that, I just feel like, at the end of the day, I just want to be me. And for so long, I tried to be like everybody else. And it was something that like really put a damper on me because I was like, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? And when I became more comfortable with me is when I started growing more. And I think, it's a hard world. Social media can make you feel like crap sometimes. Like we see so many people out there doing things that we want to do. And I just have to love me at the end of the day. And that's all that's really important.
Yeah, because you were saying actually like you don't post every day.
I don't.
And you don't, yeah.
No, I only post things that I like. Like, I literally can look at a picture on my phone and be like, I don't like this today, and I'll like not post it. And like a week later, I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, why didn't I post this? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm like, God, who did this? And then and then yeah. But at the same point, like, we're artists. So I have to feel that love of what I put out there, and if I don't, I'm like,
You have to
Whatever.
throw away the measuring stick.
exactly. That's the hard part. Because we all judge each other and judge ourselves.
That is very true, yeah. There's always this like one thing, like I know I'm this way in many, many topics and things that I do, there's always this one thing that for you, it seems really obvious that you're doing something and it's just like, yeah, I've been doing this I do this every day. It just seems natural. But it's actually not natural at all for anybody else. When you think about Instagram and brand building, what would that be for you guys? Go ahead.
I see too many people post things that they don't want in their chair and then complain about them getting themselves the wrong clients. If you don't want it in the chair, don't share about it. And I always say, like, send it to your mom. She'll love it. But don't.
Mom's the only one.
Don't post it if you don't want more of it in your chair.
That's spot on. It's spot on. I get questions like that all the time after I do classes and things, is they're just like, I'm tired of doing all the little old ladies. I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of doing that. And I'm like, girl, then why you look like a little old lady?
Yeah.
Seriously though.
Why are you showing
like
us
if you, for reals, like if you want to do creative color, why are you a brunette? You want to be a pixie specialist? Why you got extensions, right? You got to be what you want. You have to put out what you want. If you don't want it, don't put it out, period. But I have to post. It is better to have quality over quantity. It used to be the opposite, where we had to post 3 to frickin' 5 times a day. Oh, thank goodness Stories is out, because we can use that now.
I don't have time for that.
I ain't got time for that. Now it's just, your Instagram truly is your magazine feed. It is your portfolio. Everybody, Instagram is your portfolio, so you probably shouldn't be posting pictures of you having too much fun on the weekends, right? Because when Modern Salon wants to see who they're gonna feature next, they're gonna go take a look at your Instagram, and if it's looking anything less than you're not getting on. So if you're wondering why you're not getting what you want, take a hard look in the mirror.
I think it's like the book of your life. You know, you write your own book, you write your own chapters, so make it your story. Like, what is your story about you? Like, are you a partier, or are you out doing hair? Your stories and your Instagrams should be about what you're doing in the salon today. Like, I do a lot of where I'm traveling. Like, when I was just in Colorado, like, I showed the mountains because I was like, I don't want to go to work. I want to look at mountains right now. Like, but it was great to show that. Like,
I'm a big
like,
fan of mountains.
I know. I'm just like, I like mountains. I just want to look at them. But I think it's just fun to show your characteristic. Like, I love music, and that's another one. Like, sometimes you'll catch me dancing with my assistant in the middle of my salon on my stories. And that's just something fun that we do.
Can I tell a personal story?
Of course, go ahead.
But personal, but like relevant. So I'm on the Cosmoprov artistic team. I'm very lucky. I'm starting, you know, we're finishing up a wonderful second year, and a lot of people have asked me, how did Cosmoprov find you? The truth is, it actually, in the end, had nothing to do with hair. It had everything to do with me. So my boss, she was my boss lady, at the time, she was on Instagram, and I was trying to figure out how to be more personable, how to like attract more clients. I was literally just trying to build a clientele. And I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want people who aren't like me. And I'm a nerd. Like, where's my nerds at? Anybody? Oh, thank you. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic Beasts, who got their tickets? Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm a huge nerd. I'm the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world. And I thought to myself, if I post about Harry Potter, no one's going to take me seriously, and it's just going to be ridiculous, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I did. I posted about Harry Potter. And 20 minutes later, Cosmoprov messaged me. And I was like, I hit the glass ceiling, I made it, Cosmoprov messaged me, there's nothing else I can do better in my career, right? And they're like, hey, are you going to ISSE? I think this was 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. Are you going to ISSE? At the time, I was dirt broke, and I was like, I don't know what, like, should I go to ISSE? And they're like, yeah, we'd like to meet you. And I'm like, oh, they want to meet me. So we set up a lunch date. Well, I show up to this lunch date, okay, and I'm way too early because I'm that lame kid who's always early. And I'm sitting there like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. And suddenly, Jay Wesley Olsen walks in, and Larissa Love, and Passion Squared, and all these people I've been following forever, and I'm like, crap, I'm in the wrong room, right? Like I was panicking. I was like, I should not be in here. And they're all talking to each other like they're friends. I'm like, yeah, cool, I'm supposed to be here. Man, like, it was awful. It was so embarrassing. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I literally stood up to walk out of the room. And this little girl named Megan, who works for Cosmoprov, she comes in, she's like, hi, Christina. And I'm like, hi. And she's like, I'm Megan, I messaged you on Cosmoprov. And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong room. She's like, no, you're not. Go sit down. And then it turned into this whole summit thing. And then it turned into a photo shoot. And I'm like, what photo shoot? And then it was like a whole like commercial thing. I'm like, what is this, okay? After all this went down, I went to Megan and I was like, Megan, I gotta ask, man, like, cause I only had like 3,000 or 4,000 followers at the time. And I was like, how'd you find me? Like, why? Why'd you call me? She's like, oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. I was at home, sitting on my couch with my dog, and I was looking up hashtag Gryffindor. And she's like, she saw my picture and she's like, oh, that's cute, click. Saw my feed, oh, she's a hairdresser. Harry Potter made me famous. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But for reals though, in the end, being good at hair is not enough. It's 20% of the job, people. The rest of the time, you have to remember, there are people behind the messages from Modern Salon. There are people behind the messages from Lonza, Cosmoprof, Redken, whatever brand. They're people. And people want to get along with people. And they want to work with people, not some idea, not some perfect little Barbie. They want to know that if you're going to show up, they can rely on you, they're going to have fun with you, they're going to laugh with you, and that there can be a relationship that can be made. In the end, the reason that she found me was because we related over something personal. It was all about something personal, and that's what took my career to the next level, was because I was just me. So just be you. There you go. Monologue over. Sorry.
God. I'm like, I feel like I have to like Harry Potter more now. Like,
You want to come?
I mean, he's hot, so like, let's go with that.
All right.
So have you ever like shared something personal, I suppose, on your Instagram or on your feeds or social media channels in general, and had the complete opposite effect happen? Like something completely unexpected went the wrong way, and you're like, oh balls, now I have to like recover from this.
Too many to count.
But how do you manage that then?
You apologize and you admit that you made a mistake. Like, that's the thing. In the end, people just want to know that you're human. And guess what? None of us are perfect, and we all make mistakes, and we all fall on our face. And you know what's really nice? When I follow someone who I admire, and they show me that they're human, and they show me that they make mistakes too, and I'm not alone, oh, that makes me feel good. Anybody else? It's like, huh, she fell, me too, cool. You know, like, it's nice to know you're not alone. It's nice to know that in the end, you are only human. And I think that's what's most important, is just knowing you're doing okay. You're doing okay.
You don't have to fake it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I fuck up all the time. I'm not perfect. I still make color corrections, and I'm like, what the hell did I just do? Like, shit happens. Like, yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and try to make my life seem like it's perfect, because every day I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's not. But I love what I do, so that's what gets me out of the bed. But I think just putting a smile on your face and just being you, like we keep saying, is just about being you 100% of the time. That's all I can think about. Like, I don't want to be anybody else.
You're cool.
Did you have something to add to that?
We don't do a ton of, like, we don't post our children and stuff like that, unfortunately, in our stuff, but we do get stuff that we get feedback that just didn't go as planned. And bottom line with all of that stuff, the biggest thing is to remember that your goal is to listen. Like, you're putting it out there. If they love it, you're listening the same way and responding the same way, editing and doing more of that, or editing and doing less of that. Yeah. But just understanding that the big part of it is that this is a social platform. It's not a broadcast platform. You're not just putting it out into the world and, you know, planning on everybody listening to everything that you have to say. You're also supposed to be listening to what they have to say and how they respond to it and how they react to it.
And not everyone's gonna like your shit.
No. Yeah, I was just
like,
gonna say, if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right.
Exactly.
Right?
Like, I posted something the other day about like seeing no race in hair, because I believe that we should not look at race and hair. It's like something that drives me crazy. Like, do you do black hair? Do you do white hair? Why? Why are we putting ethnicities on it? It's freaking hair. Just do it. So I had someone that reached out to me that was like, well, there is something with race with hair. I'm like, no, there's not. Some hair needs more heat, some hair needs more moisture. It's just freaking hair. And like, I was like, dang, are we like still living in this time where people are like, I can't do this, or because you're black or you're white, or like, just do it. If you're a hairstylist, do hair. Learn how to do it. Curly hair, straight hair, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's important to remember. I've posted some things before that I was like, oh, people are gonna love this, and I was so proud of myself, and it's gonna be great. And it was nothing but hate. All hate, and it went viral with hate. And then, but I noticed my followers kept going up, so I was like, all right, it's still working, right? but that's the thing, is it doesn't matter. In the end, I feel like as long as you know that your integrity is intact, and you know that you just love, Like, we need more love. We need less hate. Yes?
Yes.
More love, less hate. So as long as you,
Sure.
and I came up with that. I'm just kidding. We need more love. And I feel like as long as you know that you're doing things with love and just learning and just trying to be the best person you can be, if people are hating, don't worry, your followers will eat them alive. It's great. They'll stick up for you. But
It's like being a Kardashian, really, you know? Say one thing bad about Kim and you're dead.
yes, don't say anything bad about him.
Yeah.
Do we hit that awkward pause we were like talking about earlier?
Not at all.
Cool.
No. I was actually going to ask. Like, someone asked a question yesterday. There was another panel talk, and someone said, you know, when I do a story or whatever, I feel like I get like this second personality out of myself, and I hear myself talking in a different way and this and that. Like, what would be some tips to just like be you, like be authentically you in doing that? Like, is it just practice?
Just have a conversation. It's something that took me a long time to do. Like, when I teach for Lonza, I was just like, well, how am I supposed to talk? Like, I don't know how to talk. And I was like, I talk all day.
I'm really good at talking.
I'm like, I do this all day. But then they were like, you know, pretend like you're talking to your client. I was like, but they're not like sitting there. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? And then I finally realized after a year of teaching, I was like, oh, I'm just talking, hey girl. Like, it was just really easy. I think it's just more about and practice, like video yourself constantly. Like, that's something that took me a long time to get used to, is watching myself in a video. Because I was like,
it is awkward.
I was like, is that a wrinkle? Wait, what's that face expression I do? Like everything, like I like kept judging. I was just like, you're fine. Just have fun.
I say okay and way too much.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
say
you have to watch it
all the time.
You have to rewatch yourself.
Yeah.
For me, like, I hate speaking to crowds and social platforms and things
I don't know
like
what
that.
you're talking about. You're doing
Yeah,
great.
you're doing great here.
There's no one here.
But that's the goal, you know what I mean? Like, I want to share the content or the information that we have to share, and that is my motive. And as long as I can put the rest of it in the mental crap on the back burner, then it makes it easier. For me, I sometimes have to practice. Like, we do online classes, and like, I have to do a FaceTime of myself, not FaceTime, but what's it called? Photo booth of myself practicing so that I can get all of the uncomfortable out of the way. Like, make all the ridiculous faces, say and okay 18 times, and then I'm ready.
It's that little person on your shoulder that's just like, you're gonna fail, but it's not. Like, just do it.
What?
Yeah, like, if I fall, let's get back up. Like, do it again.
In the end, nobody gives a crap what you look like, because they're all too worried about how they look.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's one thing I finally learned is because last time I got pregnant, I was getting real fat. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a whale trying to teach hair. Like, no one's gonna, and guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And the biggest thing that I learned, especially this last year, is I got stuck in that trap of, oh my gosh, I'm not flashy enough. I don't know if you guys can tell, it's about as fancy as I get. I wore a jacket. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I am a down-to-earth jeans, t-shirt, real human being who's a mom, who has a family, who loves to do hair, who's lucky enough to get to do this, but I'm a normal person, like too normal, like not cool normal, you know? And in the end, I just finally realized I don't have to keep proving that I'm pretty. I don't have to keep proving that, you know, that you need to see my selfie face all the freaking time. So when I'm on stories now, I don't make sure, I used to put the pretty filter on, right, or the puppy dog ears because my eyes really are that big, right? No, it doesn't matter. People don't care. The reason people watch it aren't to see the puppy dog ears. They're watching it because they want to hear what I have to say. Otherwise, they wouldn't be watching it. So I'm gonna hold that phone down here, and you're gonna look at those chins, and you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love it. And if anything, I get more views. I have learned the more awkward I am.
I'm not on that level yet. I'm like, yes.
Swallow.
I'm not ready for the chin movement. Yeah,
That's for you. It's not for them.
But that's okay. That's okay though. Like, this is taking practice. It takes practice, and still I look back at stuff and I'm like, oh no, but guess what? I'm the only one who notices. I'm the only one who cares, because in the end, my followers follow me because they know I'm a genuine person who actually gives a damn. They're not gonna care about whether or not I'm gaining weight. They're not gonna care whether or not I said too many times. They're gonna care about all the goodies in between the ums, right? And in the end, they're gonna go, oh wow, she says just like me. And that's what's the most important, is you're a human being just like them.
Very true.
That's how you make an impact. Social media is about being social, and you can't be social without being a little awkward.
Or being relatable.
Yeah.
It's authentic. It's what they're all looking for. It's what we're looking for.
We're tired of Barbies, man. I mean, they even think, can we use the Kardashians, right? The Kardashians, go ahead. But for reals though, didn't the Kardashians almost shut down the show after what, the 4th or 5th season because they were too perfect? And then suddenly they were like, whoa, we got to start showing more of the behind the scenes. And so once they started showing Kim crying and then the weight gain and suddenly it went off the rails again because what am I trying to say? Charts. Charts, rails, same thing. Same thing, right? It went off charts again because, oh my gosh, the Kardashians are almost human beings too. You know? They
so
are.
you're saying we need to have like a really ugly cry one day?
Yes.
I'm
and
down.
we need this meme. Right? Again.
There's that chin thing again.
The chimp thing.
Practicing.
Yeah, I'm down.
But for reals, even socialites and celebrities are starting to realize that being more personable is making them more famous, and it is working. Look at everybody. People aren't worrying so much about perfect content creation anymore. I mean, you should still care, but that perfection persona doesn't matter anymore. It's the authenticity that matters. That's where the goal is, or the gold, and the goal. You're welcome. I'm stuttering.
I think a lot of times people put people on a platform and the realization that we're all the same freaking person, you know? Like, I've come off with like people thinking that I'm bougie when they first meet me, and I'm like, if you actually get to know me, like you'll know that I will give you the last $5 in my pocket. Like, it's more not looking at me like and just getting to know me. Like, you can judge me all you want to. I still love Louis Vuitton. I love fabulous things, yes. But at the same point, I will talk to you all day long and give you as much as I possibly can. Like, I try to help people as much as I can, and that's my love of it, if anything, giving back to people. Like, I love that.
Gotta be willing to give. That's
Yes.
what it's all about. Like, you can't just put it out there and expect them to come get it from you.
And being okay with people succeeding more than you are.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
what
totally cool with
happened
it.
to, why do we have to be, we are not
Yeah.
in competition. We are a community and we uplift each other. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle, right? This competition, it's bullshit. Excuse me, it's crap. I'm supposed to stop swearing so much. But it's crap, it's garbage. There's so much hair in the world.
And we
You
all
will
give
have
a
enough
shit.
hair.
We all do the same thing.
There's so many color lines in the world.
Yeah.
You will have your opportunity.
Yeah.
Comparing yourself and dragging down others to make you feel better about yourself,
Not
people are
numbered.
starting to recognize crappy people for what they are, and karma always comes
It's a
around.
fabulous thing.
So keep it on your
Working
side.
from famine creates famine.
Yeah.
How does that work when you have, say, for instance, like you do all the social media behind the business of balayage? Obviously, there's loads of people involved in that. So how, like, is it just one person then that's featured on it, or do you actually try to get behind the scenes and get other people involved and like showing other people?
So our specific feed, we are really, really careful to only post our educators, and we're an education business. If you're not familiar with it, that's what we do, is advanced education for hairstylists. So for us, we felt that it was most important to be transparent about the people and the quality of hair that you're going to find in our classes. There are a ton of repost pages out there that also do education, and that's totally fine. We just felt that for our transparency, that's what we needed. So you're only going to find our team members in there, the people that are actually in our classes, teaching what we teach and what we do. And that was our way of keeping it authentic. Like, I don't want to post Christina's beautiful hair or Chris's beautiful hair and then claim that I can also teach you how to do that, because we didn't do that. And I think that that's the really hard balance between being a creator on Instagram and being a curator. I see so many stylists that want to be like Insta famous, and they try to post other people's work too, which is fine if you're giving shout outs, but not if you're doing it for the wrong purposes. If your motive behind it is to just get more attention, then that is going to bite you in the ass. Sorry.
Well, I think a lot of times, like, I like share people in my story a lot of times. Like, if I find an artist that I like love, like the other day I found like this guy, Caesar York. Do any of you follow him? He's here in LA. And I was like, I love him. And I had to share him, but I think that's like, it's good to do that once in a while. And like, you know, we all have that right to do whatever we want with our pages. We don't have to do anything everybody else is doing.
So where is the line then? Like, I remember when Instagram started, I mean, I think my first post was with one of my colleagues, and we literally took a photo, a square kind of weird filter photo of like this food we were making in the studio, right? It's obviously like way past that now, but there's still a lot of like personal posts about, say, your family, cats, dogs, this, that. How, like, where is that balance? How do you find that? Because it's not going to be the same for everyone.
I just feel like whatever I'm in the mood for. Like, I don't think there's like, if I feel like showing my dog or what I'm doing for the day, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't. There's some days where I just don't want to, and there's days where I do. I think, but just knowing your feelings for it, like I say, who cares what you share? Share what the hell you want. Like, there's a balance to it. It's 50-50, whatever.
I agree with that to a point. For me, in the end, I think you need to sit down and you need to decide, okay, what do I want? Because I'm sorry, if you're not making money off of social media, get off of it and go spend time with your family, right? And so for me, if social media isn't bringing something to the table for me, helping make my career better, then there's no point for it. There's no point for it, because social media is not going to give me a better relationship with my son, right? So for me, I kind of have a balance of, if I just keep it simple, every 9 pictures, right? Within every 9 pictures, I'll post 2, maybe 3 personal posts. The rest is hair related. But sometimes, and most of the time, even a lot of my personal posts have something to do with my career. So I'm personable without being too personal.
Yeah.
For example, I'm not going to show you where I live. If I had a fight with my hubby, it's none of your business. I'm not going to show you if my kid is sick, you know what I mean? I'm just going to show you the funny little quirky things that he's doing, things like that, because that makes me relatable.
So you're more personal in your stories.
I'm much more personal in my stories. When it comes to the actual posts, you have to remember, it is my portfolio. It's my portfolio. And I will put little bits of personal out there so that even the brands can see what I do. It's mostly hair. They see the work that I do. They see that I'm, a legit businesswoman who is relatable. And so those personal bits are just to show a little bit of relatability. If they really want to get my full personality, they are welcome to all the chins on stories, right? So that's me. It's figure out what you want and then go from there. If you want to be known as a blog mom, then post all the mom posts. I don't. I want to be a hairdresser who's taken seriously, who also happens to be an awesome mom, right? That's what I want to be, so that's what I post. And that's what I put out. And those are the kind of campaigns that I get to, are more being authentic, being who you are, I'm not a bougie person. There's nothing wrong with being bougie. Bougie's great, but it's not my personality. And so if someone came up to me and who follows OMG Artistry? She's awesome, okay? She's the most, that's her. Okay, she's the most rainbow, sparkles. She has this one jacket that has the biggest sequins I've ever seen in my life, okay? She's very glittery. And if I put that on, I would look like a fool, okay? On her, it's the cutest thing ever. So if a company comes up to me and they have something, glittery or whatever, and they're like, Christina, we want you to do this, that's not my brand, but it is Liv's. Makes sense? And that's what she puts out. She is very bright. She's very rainbow. She's very happy, light. I'm very moody. So I go for the moody stuff. Does that make sense?
So am I.
So yeah, we talked about how moody we are together.
Very dark and dead.
We're dark, okay? This is as much color as you're ever gonna see me wear, right? So think about that, is what do you want? Because that's what you're gonna get back. I want people to know that I'm a mom so they can understand that I have a busy schedule and they can respect my time. But then at the same time, I'm a hard worker who's a badass stylist. So that's what I'm going for. What about you? Because yours is business. So how do you do it?
I think it all comes down to personal preference. Honestly, like, everybody is different, just like everybody is different about how much they share in conversations out in the world. That same gauge is the same thing for social media platforms. There was a point in time where I had just one Instagram, and now I've got like my personal professional and my personal where I just post my dogs. Like, everybody's different. You have to figure out what you are. I do think, like, my personal opinion is, for most stylists, like, if your goal for your Instagram is to build your business, then it should absolutely be your portfolio in your main feed, and then bring your authenticity to your stories. But I get questions all the time from people who start off with personal Instagrams. They share hair here and there, and they get more response from that than they do their hair Instagram. And for those people, I think that is a specific market. Like, you might have a specific type of client that doesn't like following a hair Instagram for their stylist. They would rather have a more authentic relationship with somebody that they feel like they're following along with your life, and they also go to you for hair. And for those, I think that there's a safe ratio when you're primarily personal and balancing work is 1 in 6. So post 1 in 6, one work photo for every 5 personal photos that you post, just to keep that balance and keep the authenticity going, because people sometimes get excited. They get excited. They're like, oh, they responded really well to my hair picture in my personal Instagram, so I'm gonna post a bunch more of those, and then people just get mad because that's not what they signed up for, right? It again goes back to authenticity. They decided to follow you at some point in your profile because of what you had to offer, and if you change that, it feels fake. It feels like you lied to them, and it builds distrust.
So I feel like if you do change is good. Everybody changes. Just don't do it all at once. Don't like suddenly go from 100% personal to 100% business.
I like that.
Talk about and ask. I ask my followers all the time. I'm like, guys, I'm bored. Do you want more education videos? Do you want more this? Do you want more that? And they'll tell you. So I do it. And so if I run out of ideas, I do it. I think in the end, just know nobody has the answer to this. We're all just kind of BSing our way through it. So I think the whole point is do your best and have integrity. Just have integrity and you will succeed. Having a lot of followers does not mean success.
Yeah.
Having quality followers is how you have success.
I think we've all said the same thing, just make it your own. Like at the end of the day, whatever you feel, whatever you're going for is what you need to make it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I want to make sure that we have time for questions. So does anybody here have any questions for all of these 3 amazing human beings? Yes.
I wanted to know, how do you, on one hand, stay inspired with the people that you follow and support them, and then on the other hand, you're able to like actually close off that comparison. You're able to only support rather than compare.
The question, when you answer it, repeat the question.
How do you maintain supporting the people who inspire you, and how do you shut down comparing yourself to them? I'm a big fan of the unfollow button. If I start feeling, because here's the thing, if you feel things, feel them, right? If you feel things, feel them. Deal with it, move on, grow from it, okay? Don't let it sit, don't let it fester. So, for example, if there's somebody who I admire, and then I look at them, even if they're my close friends, and I'm just going, wow, they're doing all these amazing things, then you know what? Maybe I need to unfollow for a second because my perspective is not where it should be. And so even my own friends, sometimes I'll go, you know what? Unfollow. And then I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good again. I remembered that I'm all right. Follow, and then we're good again. So if you feel the feelings, and use that unfollow button a lot, and then refollow if you want, so.
I think sometimes when I like look at people's stuff and I'm like, damn, how the hell did they do that? Or like, because I mean, we do get inspired, but then at the same time, it's just like, why am I not doing that? Oh, how did they find that image? Like there's tons of people like from like Arts Connective in New York that I was just like, when we had to stand in front of each other and educate, I was like, how am I gonna top that? Like, what am I gonna do? But I think it's just about eventually just feeling comfortable about who you are at the end of the day. It's not about anything else, but just being just the love yourself constantly.
I think I have 2 pieces that I do because I face that all the time. For me, I have to take opposite action. So if there's somebody specifically that I'm feeling like I am holding that measuring stick up to, a lot of the times I try to go out of my way to build a relationship with them, right? Because somewhere in my head, I made them bigger than who they were, right? I took the human out of them and they became this like unattainable thing that I just can't understand.
That you can't touch.
Yeah, that you can't touch. And I think that the other part of that, because when I get in those places, like you do a spin. There's always this spin when you start comparing yourself. And I think the biggest part of the spin in finding new inspiration is going outside of where you would normally find it. So if you're feeling something like that and you're still looking for inspiration, I think the best place you can look for it is completely outside of our industry. Go look at some terribly different industry that you like the way stuff looks and find inspiration there. See how they're communicating and see how you can apply that to your business, because you're gonna have way more advantage looking outside that box than looking at what everybody else is doing and trying to figure out how to do it better.
Yeah,
It's
are
just
you
not
a
gonna
creator or are you a recreator?
Don't follow.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Does that help?
All right, I've got the mic. I'm coming.
You're getting all your steps in today, girl.
Smart woman.
So I work at a salon with multiple personalities, and I feel like not everybody takes social media as serious as I do. How do you kind of stay encouraged when I guess other people are like, why are you even doing this? What is this even for?
You own a salon?
No.
You're in a salon
Yes.
with the personalities. Okay. I had to make sure I knew that.
So, in my opinion, that's a frame of mind change, right? You're going into your actions on social media for some other reason, whether it be that you're getting praise or that you get to do it with a team, and there's somewhere along the line an expectation that just isn't realistic. And I think that that is something that you can try to reframe and figure out what is realistic. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
It's hard.
I think it's like, you can't live for everybody else. Just live for you, because I can't write their story, they can't write mine. You have to do you. You're not gonna make everybody love social media. There's gonna be people that never do or never wanna deal with it, or people that just don't wanna do balayage. But at the end of the day, you can't worry about them.
People don't want to do
Yeah.
balayage?
Yeah. There are some people out there that don't want to do it.
But embrace that that's what makes you
Yeah.
different from everybody else in your salon. That's a leg up
Yeah.
that they
yeah,
don't have.
Who cares? Who
Exactly.
cares if they're not doing social?
That's
They're not
huge.
you. They're not you. You do you, boo.
Be proud of you.
I love that. And some of the advice that we always give people too is, if you're nervous about how to get started, or like you're scared of going live on an Instagram live, or you're afraid of Instagram stories and putting it out there, if you're not active on social media and watching what you're liking, you're not going to get better. So like in journalism school, the best way to become a good reporter is to read reporting. Watch the news, see how broadcast reporters project their personalities on screen. Read articles that really got your attention, and it makes you better. So if you're watching Instagram stories and you're like, I like that, DM them and ask them what app they use to make that. Like, they'll totally share that information with you. But you will never learn if you're just sitting back and not really participating and seeing what it is that you're liking.
Thank you.
Sure.
Do we have time for one more question? That's kind of it.
I think we have time for one more
One more?
question. Anyone have one more? Awesome. Thank you guys so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.